Hi guys, good day everyone. Today I'm going to be teaching you how I design Jotter. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to design Jotter. You can design Jotter and make a lot of money from Jotter. You can design Jotter for wedding ceremony, birthday ceremony, burial. But today we are going to be diving into wedding Jotter, how to design it. As you can see, this Jotter, I designed this Jotter. I was the person that designed this Jotter front and back. I had to charge this client 5,000 naira just to design this Jotter, and I did it in less than 20 minutes. And as you can see, I also charged the client to print the Jotter for him, and I charged 50,000 naira to print 100 copies of this softback wedding Jotter. So today I'm going to be teaching you how you can design this Jotter and make money from it too. You understand? So remember, this training is free of charge, and please don't share my video with anyone and don't use my video for anything. This video is only meant for you that has the privilege to be in this class. So please guys, subscribe to my YouTube channel and give me a thumbs up to motivate me to create more content for you. So now I'm going to show you how we can design this Jotter. Let's get started. Let me cancel all these things so that we can start from scratch. So now the first of all, the clients have to send me the pictures that they took in studio. That is the two couples now. So they sent me this picture, these two pictures. So take a look at this picture now. It's a nice picture. So, and look at the second one too. So I'm going to be using this one for the front page, and I'm going to be using this one for the back page. So immediately I saw this picture, what I had to do is that I know the main colors I can see here is brown and gold. So what comes to my mind is, which color will I use for this design to match? You understand? So that is what exactly came to my mind. I have to bring it into Photoshop. Then now I will know that the design I have to give this work now should rhyme with gold and white, because gold and white is the main color we can see here. You understand? Because if you check their clothes is brown and gold. You understand? So if I start using something like pink, yellow, red, it will not match. So the earlier I use the color that match their clothes and their background, the better for us. So for this back cover now, as you can see, the main color here is white. You understand? So everything I will design, I will focus more on white. Do you understand? Focus more on white. So now let's start with the front page first. So immediately I saw this picture, what I have to do is I have to go to Google search and search for golden background or golden flowered background, or you can just search for golden background or brown flowered background. Then you see a lot of beautiful background that are associated with this color now. So look at the two background I got from Google. So these are the two main background I got from Google, this one and this one. So I'll be using these two background for this design, and it's going to be awesome. Just only these two background, you don't have to stress yourself much. And as you can see, since we are talking about wedding, since the design is all about wedding Jotter, so we have to add something like ring. That is where I went to download this ring too. So today we are going to be making use of all these things. So now the next thing I have to do is before I get started, I have to create a layer or a page. I have to create a page for this design, and the page I will be creating is A5 page. Jotter is normally A5. Jotter is not up to A4. Remember in our previous class where I taught you the sizes of paper, A5 is smaller than A4 paper. So now I have to press Ctrl N to get this thing, or go to file and go to new. You understand? So the next thing I'm going to do is to go to this custom and go to international paper. Then I'll choose, from here I'll choose A5. I'll choose A5. Then I change this into inches, because I normally use inches. So I'll choose A5. This is the easiest way to choose A5, but this is the main measurement for A5, 5.827 inches by 8.268 inches. Then I will use the resolution 300. 300 is okay for my resolution. So this is the resolution now. So the next thing I have to do is to click OK. So as you can see, I've gotten my A4 layer. You understand? So the next thing I have to do is I'll start with the background first. So first of all, I will import this one by dragging it. Then I'll make sure the image is touching the bar before I leave it. Then I've imported this first background now. So the next thing I have to do is to drag this background and enter this page I created. As you can see, the background is too small small inside the page. So I have to cancel this one so that it will not disturb me. Then I'll start working on the background. So the next thing I have to do is to expand this background. I'm teaching you how to create from scratch. I can manipulate all these things, but it doesn't mean anything. You won't learn it. So now I will expand it and press, is either I press enter key or I mark this good, two of them function, so that this thing will come back to its original shape. So now I will duplicate this background now and drag it down. How can I duplicate it? I can duplicate it by pressing Ctrl J, Ctrl J. As you can see, this layer has duplicated. Then I will drag one background, one down. Understand? I'll drag this one that is up. I'll drag it down. Or look at another way to duplicate a background. You hold Alt key, then left click on the object you want to duplicate. You understand? You left click on it and drag it down. You hold it and drag it down. These are the two ways you can duplicate. As you can see, this image now has duplicated. So the next thing I have to do, then I will do as if I want to shift it up small. So I'll see the space where I will keep the next background. So as you can see now, I can push this one up. Sorry. So I can push this one up, this down one up. Just make sure everything you are doing is well aligned. So now the next thing I'm going to do is to import the second background, which is this one. You understand? So I'll drag it into Photoshop, then touch the bar here and make sure it's showing me copy. Then I leave it. Then I'll now drag from the inside. Now hold it and drag. Hold it and don't leave it till you get into the page you are making your designs. So I'll drag it now, then expand it. I'll hold shift to expand. So once I've expanded it like this, then I double click or I press enter for it to come back to its original shape. So as you can see, this layer now is above these two, and that is why this one is covering this, and that is why this last background we imported is covering the two we imported earlier. So what I have to do is to drag from here. I'll drag this one down so it will go behind it. So I'll just hold it and drag it under this one, under this first one we imported. As you can see, it has entered. So we have made our background now. You understand? So the next thing I want to do, I want to, as you can see, there is a sharp edge between this first background we imported and this last one. So I want to blend it so that it will look fine. You understand? I want to blend it. You understand? And before I start blending it, okay, what I'll use to blend this sharp edge, sharp end in here is this what do you call it, this eraser tool. So I'll first of all click on this eraser tool, then click here to choose the shape I want. So I'll be going with this shape. Then as you can see, I clicked here and it cleaned this background. This background is not what I want to clean. The one I want to clean is this one. So the reason why it cleaned this one is because I selected this one from here. So what I want to do now is I'll press Ctrl Alt Z, that is undo, sorry, undo. Then I'll click here. I've selected this background now. So what I will do now is you can reduce the size of this eraser tool by clicking here. As you can see, it's in 600. I can reduce this to something like 400 if it is okay for me. So I'll start blending it by so now I'll click here. Sorry, look at the background here. This particular background now is this one on top. You understand? So make sure that any background you want to work with, you have to select it from here. So I want to work on this one that is at the center here. So look at it here. So for me to make sure I selected it, I'll click on move to. As you can see, move tool is selecting it. You understand? So I'll go back to my eraser tool, then I'll start cleaning. Just dab, 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 dab. You will not just clean it straight. So now, as you can see, the shape of what we cleaned is not showing properly, just because all of them, the opacity of their colors are the same. So what I'll do now, click on move to, click on this background now. You understand? I'll click on this background. Then the next thing I will do is to come to this opacity here. As you can see, this opacity here, and I'll click this arrow. I'll drag this opacity. As you can see, I have white background here. So if I reduce the opacity of this background, it means that this background will enter inside the background under it. Because I have white background here, the opacity now is now pushing it to enter this white background. Do you understand? So it's now pushing it to enter this white background. So now the next thing I will do is to drag it in, understand, so that it will enter as I want. As you can see, the brown color has almost changed to white, because the color is still there, but the opacity of this layer now is now fainting. You understand? So now I have to dab very well to clean it properly. Then I dab again. Sorry, Ctrl Alt Z. I click on this layer again, then dab. I'm now blending it. You understand? So as you can see these two things now, I've gotten the background I want for this work. So the next thing I have to do is to start working with the pictures. That will be the next thing I will do. The next thing I will do is to start working with the pictures. So now I have to, at this point in time, I have to import the pictures. I have to import the pictures I will be working with. So first of all, I'm working on the front page, so I will use this one as the front page. Then I will drag it into Photoshop, touch it here, make sure it shows copy. Then I leave it. Then the next thing I will do is I will use this rectangular tool because I don't want to crop this picture. The background is nice and I don't want to crop it. That is the concept I will use. We will still do the design that we have to crop the images out before using it. So the next thing I will do is I will just come here, use this rectangular marquee tool and carve out the parts I want to use, the actual part I want to use, and make this design. So this is the part I will be using. This is the part I will be using. So once I select it with this rectangular tool, I will click on move tool. Remember, you select with rectangular tool but you move with move tool. So the reason why I didn't use move tool direct is that I don't want to move the whole part of this image. So I have to select the parts I want with this rectangular tool, then now move with move tool, then I'll drag and add it here, then break it inside here. So now I will expand. I will expand. I will expand. You understand? So like this is okay for me. Like this is okay for me. Let me delete this side. Don't, it's too large. So I just have to select that side and click delete. So now I've imported this thing now. As you can see, the image is brown and the background is also brown, so the color is not legible to me. You know, we did about legibility. You understand? It doesn't give me pleasant to my scene. It's not pleasant to my scene. So what I will do now is I will add an outline. Remember, I'm working with brown and white or gold and white. So I'll add outline of brown. First of all, I will duplicate this image by pressing Ctrl J. Just look here. Once I press Ctrl J to duplicate, Ctrl J, so I've duplicated. So this first one, I will add a white outline. I'll click here and select white. Then I'll increase the size of that stroke. You understand? So look, I have to add it so I will not make mistake. You click on this effect, you select that layer, you click on this effect, then you click on stroke, then you select color white, click OK. Select any color you want. I need white, so I will increase the size now. I will increase the size, increase the size, I will increase the size. Okay, it is now in 36. This 37 should be okay for me. So depending on what you are working on, you know the size that will be okay for you. Then this brown one now, as you can see, white is here and white is here, but the white here is not showing properly because there is this background at the down part is also white. So first of the next thing I will do is, since this first layer has a white outline, then let this down layer now have brown outline. Two of them are the same thing. So the reason I want to do it like this is because you can't add two different colors of outline in one image. So it's either you duplicate and add one, then add another one under it and make it to be bigger, then that one will show. So look at what I will do. So I'll click on this layer now, click on this effect, click on stroke, then I will choose color. If I choose color now, I don't want to if I start looking for brown, it might suffer me. So what I will do is that once I click on color, for me to choose brown, I'll just come here and click brown and click on any color I want. If I click on white, it will choose. If I click on white, it will choose white for me. If I click on anything, if I click on yellow, it will choose yellow for me. So what I will do is just I'll click on brown. You understand? I'll click on brown and I'll click OK, and I'll start increasing it. Remember, this first one we are 37, so we have to make this one 40 or 40 something, as the case may be. Okay, let's make it 55. This 55 is okay. So now I have to, what the next thing I have to do, I have to group these two layers now, because two of them are serving the same function. So I'll right click on it, right click, then go to I'll right click on it, then go to group from layer. So I've grouped this layer. As you can see, these two layers now are inside this group. The reason why I want to do it like this is that if I want to move, I can easily move two of them. You understand? So that is it. So this is, we are progressing. So now we are done with making out setting out the image and the background. Then the next thing now is the typographies. That is the next thing we have to do, the typographies. So your clients have to give you the write-up, that is the typography you'll be working with. So I'll click on this type 2. I've shown you how to use type 2 before. So I'll just make sure I'm using white color, because I'm working, I told you, it's not, graph is not all about adding too much colors. It's all about utilizing the small color you have to make work beautiful. As you can see, I've not added any external color. I'm just working with the colors I saw in the image, and the work is becoming beautiful. So the next thing I will do is to click. I've selected this type 2, then I'll just come to the background and click bam. Then from here I'll increase the size of my cursor. Okay, so it's 5. I can make it something like a 6, just for me to see this line very well. So just for me to see my cursor very well. So the title of this work will be because the name of the wife is Joy and the name of the husband is Meekness. So the title of this jotter now will be Jmeek 2021. Jmeek then I'll space 2021. You understand? So now this Jmeek 2021 is very big for me, so I have to reduce it by, if I select move to, I'll hold shift. Anytime you want to increase or reduce size, just hold shift and you drag down, then you shift. You can use your arrow keys to move it to any side you want. The 4 arrow keys. You understand? The up one will lift it up, the down one will lift it down, the right one will shift it at the right part, the left one will shift it at the left part. So I don't know if I should start working with this font I have now, or should I change the font. So let me check if I can change the font. As you are going, you'll be seeing different font that you use. You see different fonts that you can use. as so let's use this font. This font is okay for me. So as you can see, this font, I've selected this font now. So the next thing I have to do is, because a white you are using a white background in a brown, a white right top in a brown background. So I'll still want to add outline here by if I select this layer now, this right top layer, this particular gmic now, then I'll go to here and add effect. For me to add effect, I click here, then click on stroke, because I want to add the outline. So I'll click like this and select brown. I've selected brown, then I'll click OK. Then I will increase the brown. This 8 is okay for me, because if I make it big, it will not look fine. So let me reduce this. As you can see, this is 8. This 8 is okay for me. Then I click OK. Then the next thing I will do, let me still reduce this image so I will see space. So the next thing I will do is to click on this. I want to reduce the size of this thing, so I'll see where I can do the down right up. So the next thing I'll do now is to write the names of the couple, which is Joy and Meekness. Then I'll click on this type tool, then come under here and click boom. Then I'll type Joy shift and as you can see, I used white color here, so it's still showing me white color under here, and the white color is not showing well because of we are working on a white background. So here we have to change this color now to brown. You understand? Because here is a brown background, we used white color. So because here is now white background, so we have to use brown color. You understand? So Joy and Meekness. So I'll reduce the size by clicking on move tool, and I'll drag it down. And I'll drag it down and click enter. So the next thing I'll do is to change the color. So I have to click on this type tool, then click on this color here. Then I can select something like this, or I can use this one. Just make sure you are working with the colors on the background. You understand? Make sure you are working with the colors on the background. Make sure you are working with the colors on the background. Then I'll say okay. Then I'll now add outline again, so that my right top will come out here. Sorry, I use stroke. Click on stroke. If I use this black, it's okay. I can still change it to brown if I want. Or let me first of all leave it on this black first. Then the next thing I'll do is to know if this font is okay for me, or should I change it. Let me see if I can see any other font that will be okay for me. Remember, I told you don't work with more than 3 fonts. The highest font you can work with should be 3. 2 is okay. If you add a lot of fonts, your work will not look nice. Do you understand? So let me use this impact regular. That is the name of this font. Then I'll click like this and shift. make sure everything you are doing is aligned. I'll still teach you grid mapping. So as it is now, if I want, I can just, for me to beautify it. If you check this image now, you see some dark red colors. So I can change it for me to differentiate this and their names. I'll just come here, I'll use color and differentiate it. Then I'll highlight only this one. I'll click at the front and drag it back. Highlight only this one, then click on color. As I highlighted it, then I'll click on color. You understand? Then I'll select something like red. You understand? And I'll click OK. And I'll mark this good. And I'll zoom back. As you can see, our design is making sense. So the next thing I'll do is to write celebration of love. And I'll click here. Let me reduce the size of this thing. Then I'll write before I start working, let me change this way. I can use, let me use black color here, and I'll write celebration of love. So here I don't want to work with this font again, so I need a lighter font, or a font that will be slim. So let me check if I can see. As you are going down, the font will be changing till you reach the one you want. Then let's check if we can see here. This font is okay, it's nice and slim. So the next thing I'll do is I'll reduce the size. So the next thing I will do now is to write the date of the wedding. So this is where creating of shapes will now come in. So I will use this rectangular tool, then carve out a rectangle shape here. Can make it like this. Remember, I taught you how to create shapes. Then I create empty layer. Remember, I create empty layer by clicking this icon here. If I click this icon here, this empty layer will show. Then I will now have to add this color here. I'll have to add this color, pour this white color, because I want to add white color. So I'll have to add this white color here. As you can see, the white color is now in this background. Then I will deselect this line that is rotating around it by clicking Ctrl D, or if I right click, this is the tool I'm using, or if I right click, I'll click on deselect. You understand? So now, as you can see, this white is not showing very well because of the white background here. So the next thing I'll do is to add outline by clicking stroke, so that it will show well. Then I'll now select this brown color. You understand? I'll select this brown color. Once I select this brown color, then I'll use move tool and shoot it a little bit. I can resize it. This is where increasing with this block will come in, because I want to drag it so it will be slimmer. Then I click OK. Then I will now I can now impute the date on this part. If I zoom now, I will write the date here. Let me reduce the size of this thing. Then the date is 17th. Then I shift down October 2021. You understand? 17th October 2021. So I will increase the size so that it will suit this box. And I'll drag it down. Then this one, I'll choose the alignment I want. Let me use this center one. Now I have to drag it back and put here. So now, as you can see, I've added the date. So the last thing I will do in this design now is to add the rings. Let me cancel this thing. Add the ring I downloaded. So I'll now go to the folder I saved the ring image, then drag it and touch the Photoshop. Then once I do this thing, I'll have to open this key first, because I'll crop. I cannot, if I should add this image like this, it will have white background, and this is not what I want. So let me delete it. What I want is that before I add it to the image, I will remove this white background. You understand? So what I will do is, you can use this here and crop this polygonal lasso to and crop as I taught you. But since this one is in plain background, as you can see, this string is in a plain background. You understand? We have easier way of doing it. We can use this magic wand tool. That is where the use of this magic wand tool now comes in, because I told you is to trim image in a plain background or in a plain color. So I'll just click on this white. As you can see, this tool has selected this white background automatically. So I'll just click on delete. I've deleted it. Then I deselect by pressing Ctrl D. Then I'll come inside here and click on this white tool. Then I'll delete this white. As you can see, so I don't have to start using this polygonal tool to bang and crop. So I'll just delete this one again. Then I'll delete this one. I'll just select the colors I want to delete and delete it. Then I'll delete, Ctrl D. Then I'll click here too, because here is not among. I delete, Ctrl D. I don't even need to fade out in this aspect safe. So I've cropped this. So the next thing I'll do is to move this image now to the design. So I will now increase it to any size I want. I will click enter. Then the last thing we are going to do, as you can see, we are done with our designing, our front page design, front cover designing. So the next thing we are going to do is to do what we call a grid. Grid is to align, to make sure that all of them are well aligned. So the next thing I will do is to click view and go to show. Then I'll click on grid. As you can see, I have lines that appeared on this image. So I can now, let me say, I'll use this one. I'll use this line for the gridding now. I'll use this particular line for the gridding. So if I click on this right up, I'll have to shift this center icon here, this center move to. I'll have to shift it so that it will be at the straight line with this line I'm working with now. Then I click on this one too. As you can see, the icon is here, so I'll have to shift it right so that it will be at the same alignment with this line. Then I go down to their name. I'll shift it like this so that it will be in the same line with this one. Then this one also, So they are the important things I have to align here. So for me to remove this grid, I go to show again. I go to grid. I've removed this. So now I will now save by pressing Ctrl Shift S, or I go to file and click on save as. Once I click on save as, you understand, I can give it a name, jmic. I've selected the folder I want to save it into, so I'll just click jmic front cover. Then first of all, I'll save as Photoshop. And if I go to that folder now, I'm supposed to have this thing. Look at it, jmic front cover, but my system cannot view this thing because this is a Photoshop file, so I have to save it with the file that system can view, which is jpeg. So I press Ctrl Shift S again, or I go to file and click on save as. Then here they write save as type, and I click here. If I click here, I select this first jpeg, then I save again. I click OK. So let's come back. As you can see, I've saved the front cover. So as you can see, this work now is the same with this one. You understand? So let me just show you a quick review. So that is not, I didn't do magic to design it. This is how I created this design. Do you understand? So that is it. Then in next class we learn how I designed the back cover. See you in the next class. Thanks.